During the winter months, we really enjoy taking advantage of our fireplace, but we don't have an organized spot near our house for the firewood. So today, I'm showing you how I changed that and quickly and easily built this DIY firewood rack from 2x4s from the home center. Follow along and welcome to Maker Gray. I started this project with 5 2x4s, which will be 95% of this build, and I chose pressure-treated wood since this is an outdoor project. We happen to be having amazing weather this day, so I moved my miter saw outside and pre-cut all of my boards to length. This whole project could also easily be built with just a circular saw. I have build plans with a full cut list linked below. I'm going to be using pocket holes where I can to minimize obvious screw holes. So I pulled out my pocket hole jig and went ahead and cut in the pocket holes for the boards that needed them. To build the bottom base, I made sure to work exterior rated glue into the porous end grain of the boards, and then I held them in place with my favorite Bessie trigger clamps. Once everything was lined up, I attached them all together with pocket hole screws from the inside, making sure to keep everything square. I'm adding one 2x4 in the center of the base for a little extra support in keeping the bottom firewood up off the ground. Now that the base is complete, we can build up. I want the 4 vertical legs of this rack to have a slight angle on them, so I tilted my miter saw just slightly so I can cut the ends at an angle. This clamp is great for holding 2 boards together at their angle when joining with pocket holes. The pin slides into a pocket, then you close the clamp and it holds the pieces tightly together while you add a screw to a nearby hole. If you're interested, I've got all of my tools linked down below. To attach these legs, I added wood glue and then I screwed them to the base from the inside, continuing the theme of no screws showing on the outside of the base. It's important to use exterior rated screws on this build so the screws hold up and don't stain the wood in the weather. With one side built, I just repeated the steps to complete the opposite side. I'm adding a couple horizontal boards near the top that will support the top shelf. This is where I want to store smaller wood and kindling. I added wood glue and then I screwed these 2 support boards in from the inside of the legs. I want to add 2 end boards to this upper shelf. For them to fit, they need to have an angle on each end. Instead of measuring, one of my favorite tricks is to hold a board in place and simply trace the angle the board needs. I think this method personally gives me better results. Then I can take the board to my saw and cut right on the line for a perfect fit. It was easiest to screw in these 2 boards from the outside, so I used small trim head screws to minimize the appearance. Now it's time to add some slats to create the top shelf. I already had some cedar pickets left over from my mailbox build and my trash can privacy fence build, so I'm using those. I highly recommend cedar as it's an excellent wood for outdoor use. My boards were slightly too long, so I marked some cut lines and then I cut them down to size. Once everything was cut, I pre-drilled pilot holes so the cedar wouldn't crack, and then screwed them into place using the same exterior rated trim head screws from before. And with the shelf in place, this easy firewood rack was done. Having an organized, dedicated spot for this firewood looks so much nicer than having it all on the ground. And it's a bonus to have it close to the house for easy access in the cold weather. This project is inexpensive, quick, and an easy build. So if a firewood rack is on your list, I hope this inspires you to build one too. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next build.